Hello and welcome to yet another couple of Switch video. Yes, your boy is already back with a new video, and I saw a lot of comments on my latest combo video about Beelstar, and now finally that the fine tuning is done with the deck, I am ready to show it all. You might find some of the choices rather strange, but I'm going to try to go into as much detail as possible why I did my deck decisions, while offering, like in all of my other deck profile videos, alternatives if you don't like my choices. So let's not waste any time, let's get into it. But before I forget, remember to watch the combo video of this deck. There's a link in the description and in the comments. I would really appreciate if you watched it, while it's scripted, obviously. Personally, I find those kind of video the best to learn how to play a deck, because I pretty much go over every single thing that you want to do in this deck in that video, so please watch that. Now let's get into the eggs. While in the combo video I played Digimon, I decided that, for reasons I will talk about in a few moments, I think the Digimon from BT6 is the much more preferable choice. Your turn one for turn. When you trash a card in your hand using one of your effects, trigger draw one. What I noticed with the combo video is that the amount of trashing that you actually do in this deck is far more efficient than I ever expected it to be. So you don't actually really need the Digimon to draw one, discard one. You're already discarding so much cards. And what this card offers is a way for me to gain card advantage. Since we're drawing and discarding so much, we want to discard the right cards. It's Beelstar after all. And there are some additional benefits to running this egg over the other one, as you will see. So moving into the rookies, I play a playset of ST16 Gabumon. Everyone knows by now, or should know by now, that this card is absolutely busted in every single way conceivable. It's a purple staple by now. Start of your main phase, if your opponent has a Digimon, gain 1 memory. That effect is already so goddamn good in this deck, because that means if your opponent chokes you while having a Digimon out on the field, this means that you can promote the Gabumon and go into the entire Gabumon X, Garurumon X line without passing turn, and that's really important. Also inheritable, when attacking once per turn, draw 1, then trash 1. This card is absolutely ridiculous. I hope they won't restrict it, because the card works in pretty much any purple deck imaginable. Then I play Gabumon from ST6, one of those that's restricted to 1, and as well as a Gabumon from BT2 that's also restricted. It's just there to be yet another card that's Gabumon and has that really good inheritable. Then we have this Gabumon over here that on deletion, draw 2, trash 1. It's fine. In this version of the deck, we really don't want our stacks to die. We have ways to keep them around. Like in normal circumstances, you really want your level 4 stacks to die in Beelstar, but that does not matter here at all. And here comes one of the stars of the show, a playset of Gabumon X-Antibody. Real copies this time. He's just insane on all levels, and is also one of the reasons why we're playing the Digimon egg, since he can evolve for free on that, which he can't do on a Digimon, since he would cost 1 instead. He also can evolve on a Gabumon for 0. He got an incredibly powerful on-play, and when Digivolving effect you look at 4 cards, and you can take 2 Garurumons, making the deck so consistent. Like, the only problem with this deck is that you might find some situation where you have to mold because you draw just option cards on your starting hand. That's really unfortunate, but that's bound to happen considering how many options we run in this deck. So this is your most consistent search engine in the deck. We don't run anything else that searches out stuff you need for your hand. Everything else just cycles, hopefully getting to the point where you pop off because you've drawn every single card you need. My suggestion when it comes to this card, which is really important, that if you start and you have like a Gabumon in racing and a Gabumon X-Antibody in hand, do not save him for the next turn. Just immediately hard play the Gabumon X-Antibody, triggers on play effect, getting 2 stacks out and hopefully drawing those Garurumons you need. And let's not forget his crazy inheritable, all turns once per turn. When this Digimon with Gabumon, or Omnimon in its name, would be deleted in battle by returning 2 non-Digi-Egg cards from your trash to the bottom of your deck, prevent that deletion. And this is one of the very powerful effects in this deck, because that means that you can keep your level 4 stacked around to continuously draw you and discard cards. And we live in a world where you don't live in a combo video where everything perfect happens, so you will draw and discard cards you don't need on hand. But in that context it's fine, since that would actually make you be able to keep your stack on field by tucking it to the bottom of your deck. Then it's Beelstar. Obviously we have to run some Floodgates, so I run 2 copies of Psychmon and 1 copy of Gakumon. Obviously this is a taste thing, like you can either run 1 copy of Psychmon, 2 copies of Gakumon, or if you do not like these 2 boys over here, you can run more Floodgates. Floodgates are really needed for certain matchups, like Digicross, and more specifically during this meta, Anubismon, since it stops, dosing effects. But one of the most important things is that this deck can get really blown out by defects on a nailbone turn. So having one of the Digimons you resurrect be Psychmon is really powerful. But there's also great space for more Gakumons, considering there's a lot of, memory gain in this format as well. Now moving on to the level 4s, I play a playset of Gabumon from ST16. Like, this card is so ridiculously good. It does everything we want. Just like pure and simple, when Digimon draw 1, trash 1, but it also has a great security effect. When it gets checked into security, you may play 1 Gabu or 1 Tamer card with Matt Ishida in its name from your hand or trash without paying the cost. So yes, it's a free resurrection or free play of cards you already play for absolutely free while using a card that's great in the tribal. It's just absolutely nuts. And as an inheritable, when attacking once per turn, draw 1, trash 1. Perfect. We already play so many cards with security effects in this deck, as you know, and just this guy being the extra cherry on top to either get out that extra level 3 or that Tamer that either returns a card to your hand or gains you a memory and draws you a card when you promote a Gabumon next turn is just absolutely huge. And better yet, this also gives us a great outlet to discard our Tamers or our Gabumons to be resurrected later if he's in security. Great. Then I play 2 copies of Gabumon from ST6. This guy is just in here for consistency, he's just here for an extra body that Gabumon X-Antibody can evolve on, and he also has the when attacking effect of trigger draw 1, then trash 1. Then I play 4 copies of the main man, the main guy, the guy that just ruined everything, Gabumon X-Antibody. Like I've said before, what the hell is this? He's broken. When Digi-evolving, draw 2, then trash 2, gain a memory if there's a Gabumon in its Digi-evolution cards. Just absolutely nuts. What were they thinking? Yada yada yada. The card is just absolutely crazy. Yeah, no words. It's just disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. And it's pretty much what keeps this entire deck together, because when you build the perfect stack, you draw 1, trash 1 way too many times, then you just eventually draw 2, trash 2, gain a memory, you attack, you draw 1, trash 1, draw 1, trash 1, and if you have the Gabumon X-Antibody in its Digi-evolution cards, you can potentially save him to keep him around, which is just, it's just so good. It's just ridiculous. And then I play one of my favorite cards, Gakumon Promote, who's been a real MVP since BT6. Still here, still kicking. He got Rush, you bring him back with Nailbone, you swing for game with a Beelstar. You know this. If you played the deck before, you know what he does and why he's here. But it does have one additional good effect in this deck, and it's that if you don't find the Gabumon X-Antibody, you could technically evolve him on a stack, and he will, at swing, to draw you 1, trash 1, draw you 1, trash 1, which is fine. Sometimes that's gonna come up, because you're not always gonna pog with this deck. Now we're gonna get into what might be one of my spicier choices for this deck, and we'll see if you agree or not. But I do have a great alternative if you dislike it personally. I play 2 level 5s in this deck actually. After some consideration and thinking, the chances of your level 4s dying in security is pretty slim nowadays. And on top of that, you can save him if he would, as long as there is an effect deleting him, that is. But since we hopefully keep the level 4s around after swinging, and this deck is incredibly weak against Floodgates itself, both Psychmons, Gakumons, and especially Digimon that doesn't allow us to play Digimons by effect like Gakumon. Those are a big menace, and if they get them out, we're in a bad spot, because it's gonna be very expensive for us to just take them out before we can do the rest of our game plan. So I play 2 copies of BlackWarGrowlmon from EX5. And let me give you a good explanation why. He does cost 4 to Digivolve on your level 4s, but he has a pretty good synergistic effect with the rest of our deck. When Digivolving, trash the top 3 cards of both players' decks. Then choose any number of your opponent's Digimons that their DP total adds up to 3000 DP and delete them. For every 10 cards in both players' trashes, add 2000 DP to the maximum this DP based deletion effect can delete. That's a mouthful. So why this? Firstly, you milling 3 cards is great, since it puts more things in your trash to play out your Beelstar. And secondly, since we draw and discard so much stuff, meaning that by the time we go into BlackGrowlmon, he would have added the extra 2000 DP. Meaning that after we swing, drawing a million cards, discarding a million cards, we can go into this guy and either early on in the match can like delete a level 4 or something, keeping the tempo up, something that Beelstar has a very hard time to actually do nowadays. Beelstar is a late game deck. This card enables us to early on remove threats that are gonna be a problem later without needing to play Beelstar for 8 or 7 or 6. And the best part, compared to like a Deathclaw, it means we don't need to sacrifice our own Digimon to delete our opponent's Digimon for cheap. After the turn shifts back to us again and this boy is still around, we can continuously draw 1, trash 1 with the inheritables we have. I feel this is a very spicy card to have in this deck that actually works. But I do understand if you are skeptical. If you do not like him, just play Deathclaw instead. It's a good, reliable card. It also has a security effect that comes up sometimes. But the fact that you, like before, it was more important to delete your own Digimon. Now you actually do not want to delete your own Digimon. You want to keep them around to keep swinging, to draw 1, trash 1. But it's all up to taste. Moving on, we obviously play a playset of Best Girl. Beelstar, the one and only. You know what she does, she's the entire point of the deck. Beelstar has been my favorite decks in BT6, I have seen much success with it, going top 32, 4 tournaments in a row, or maybe it was 3, I don't remember, it was a very long time ago. She's just absolutely amazing, and this is probably the best she will be for a very long time, before Bandai decides to actually give her real support. They do not want Beelstar to succeed, considering they made a new Beelstar that has absolutely nothing to do with the Three Musketeer archetype, which is sad. Then I play 1 copy of ShineGreymon Ruin Mode. Just 1 copy, that's it. Like before in other versions of this deck, it was more mandatory in my opinion to play more copies. And no Death-X, by the way, no Death-X. If you want to play a Death-X, I understand, it all depends on the meta, but I feel that you just want to focus getting the Beelstar out as quickly as possible on the field. Just immediately evolving into the ShineGreymon is such a good threat. Like, it can lock your opponent out of the game, meaning you just absolutely win on the spot. And that's all of the Digimons, so let's get into the options now. Firstly, I play a playset of Kokaitis Breath, probably one of my favorite option cards that are playable in Beelstar, and it's very easy to do here since a lot of our Digimons are blue. And since we're trying to keep them around, it's gonna be pretty easy to meet the color requirements of this. Then I play a playset of Rivals Barrage. Delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the highest level. The only negative thing with this deck is that you don't get to choose, like compared to the Fly Bullet, but this enables us to kill level 7s, which that card does not. And its alternative effect that when it gets milled, you get to place it in the battle area, can actually trigger in this deck since we play the BlackWarGrowlmon, so it has some further usability. Then we play 3 copies of Nailbone. Main, you may play 1 purple level 3 Digimon and 1 purple level 4 Digimon. This card has been a staple in Beelstar since day 1 and is probably one of the best win cons this deck has. Since if you can play out Beelstar for 0, that means when you play this card from your hand, you can get out 2 additional Digimons. And 2 Beelstars, that's 6 Digimon on field, which most often means game. Like Beelstar, Nailbone, Promote, Gassy. It's a pretty good combo, let me tell you. And now for some additional one-off options, I play 1 copy of Fly Bullet. I really love this card, so I have to play it. Maybe an additional Happy Bolt Showering would be good, but I really like this art, so I have to have it in here. I play 1 Happy Bullet Showering. Delete all of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest DP. Sometimes this is a big deal because it enables you to kill multiple Digimons with the same DP, which in certain matchups really matters. I play 1 Howling Crusher, and this as well, in certain matchups, this does so much. Like decks that care about Digivolution cards, like ShineGreymon for example, ain't got shit against Howling Crusher, because suddenly they have no protection, and you can just immediately yeet it away. And then 1 copy of Gewaltsvärmer. Really needed in the Commandramon matchup. Nowadays they just crap out way too many dude. It has protections and it's just so goddamn annoying. But this card at least clears the field of everything except Brigadramon, and then you can clear him off with the Beelstar. And like I mentioned before, it also depends on taste. Certain metas calls for different cards. Like the Fly Bullet can be removed to add any other 7 cost option cards. Like you already are set with the option cards that delete and removes them, so you technically don't need it if you require more utility. Then I play 1 copy of Calling from the Darkness, and I hopefully don't need to explain this one. You bring 2 Digimons back from the trash to your hand, which is, you know, getting back 2 Beelstars, amazing. Reusing the ShineGreymon, amazing. Just a early game, get back shit from your graveyard to continuously build in your breeding zone. Yeah, like it has infinite usage in this deck. It's always gonna be played in Beelstar. It's just such a good, efficient card. And that's probably why it was restricted. And lastly, I play 3 Tamers, 2 BT6 Matashidas. They're blue, so works well together with our breath. And the majority of our Digimons in the back row are Gabumon, so you will draw 1 and get 1 memory at the start of your turn, meaning that your opponent can't choke you for you to do your Garurumon thing. And then I play 1 copy of Matashida, the good old one from BT2. And you might be wondering why I chose that one over the ST one. And it's quite simple actually. I do not think that memory you gain from drawing 1 and trashing 1 effect really matters with that card. Because you see, your top priority with deck is not really playing the Tamers. Like in certain situations, it's probably the best you can do with your hand. But the fact of the matter, since Garurumon is in this deck and he can bring these guys out for free, you being able to play this for free and then you can return 1 purple option card from your trash to your hand can be so goddamn huge. Like returning a Calling or an option card you desperately need that time, or Beelstar or ShineGreymon. Like it's really good, trust me. You getting back a Digimon or an option card is so infinitely better in this deck than gaining 1 memory 1 turn. So yeah, that's the deck. As previously said, Beelstar is pretty much infinitely customizable. So if you prefer like Deathclaw, Defx, or, you know, other 7-cost option cards. You can change and modify this deck however you want. But I think the baseline of it, as long as you're playing the Beelstar Gabumon deck, this is pretty much, I might say, the best you're gonna get. In my testing, it's felt consistent, it felt really powerful, really good. It's Beelstar, so it's really fun. And yeah, if you try out this deck, please tell me your experience with it and how it goes. It would make me really happy to get Beelstar into people's hands again, because as I said, this is my absolute favorite deck of all time. I love it to death, and everything I want is for Bandai to make more cards usable by Beelstar. Like, the deck is never gonna get old for me. The only thing it needs is just new cards. Like, please, more free Musketeers, please. So thanks for watching. Remember to always leave a like and a subscribe. And if you enjoyed the video, please tell me. And remember, the reason why this video was made is because you guys requested it. So always leave a suggestion in the comments below of what you want to see. And next time you'll be seeing me, it will be a Mastermon combo. Have a good one now. Bye bye!